We're going to get into some Bears hot takes in just a moment, and then after that, we're also going to answer all of your questions here on Chicago Bears Now. I'm Harrison Graham. Let's go ahead and dive on into it. Hot take number one, I think the Bears make the playoffs here in 2023. I think with the additions on offense, with DJ Moore, Darnell Wright, fingers crossed, Nate Davis. I'm a little concerned about what's happening there, but I like the receiver and offensive line group being improved. Year 3 of Justin Fields. I think this team makes the playoffs in a weak NFC North and a below-average NFC. I think they make the postseason. Hot take number 2, Justin Fields at the end of this year has a top 10 QB season. Maybe he's not a bona fide top 10 quarterback heading into 2024, but I think for this season, he will be one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the NFL. I think his impact will be felt. I am buying into the hype. He's already the best running quarterback in the NFL for my money. I think he takes a big leap as a passer. 4,000-plus total yards, 30-plus total touchdowns, big Fields season incoming. Speaking of, DJ Moore, he's going to be a big reason why. 1,200-plus yards. He's never reached 1,200 yards in the NFL. I think Justin Fields is the most talented quarterback he's played with in the NFL. Not only is he going to help Fields, Fields is going to help them. They're going to ball out together. This connection is real, and he's going to go off because of it. Gervon Dexter, the rookie, he's going to have 5-plus sacks. This is very bold. I get it. Didn't have a ton of sack production at Florida, but he was getting comped to Chris Jones a lot with his measurables and his ability. Florida was asking him to do some things that didn't necessarily play to his strengths. He's already popped at training camp. I think you could get some extra sack production from the interior, and Gervon Dexter gives you the best chance to do just that. One more hot take, and then we'll get to your hot takes and questions in a moment. Jaquan Brisker, 3-plus interceptions. I think he leads the defense in takeaways this year. He was called an elite competitor by Matt Eberflus recently, who has named out a few guys who fit that elite competitor status. That's something Flus has talked about a lot. He's one of them. He's a leader on this defense in year 2. I think he gets 3 or more interceptions. What is your Bears hot take for 2023? If you had to pick one, your hottest Bears take for 2023, pin comment on today's show, and then after this YouTube bad break, we'll get into your hot takes and also your questions. Let's start with Keem78 with the Super Chat. If you Super Chat, you can skip the line. Terrell Lewis will take Jack Sanborn's job. I think there's some positional differences there, but the Bears do like to use Sanborn as a blitzing linebacker. Terrell Lewis, I think, more naturally plays that edge spot, but he could play off ball and blitz some. I think that could happen some, but you don't want him to drop into coverage, whereas we know Sanborn can do some of that. I will say this. I think Terrell Lewis will play a decent amount. I think he'll make the 53-man roster, which going into OTAs, he wasn't even really on my radar, and now he's pretty safely on this team, I'd say. Austin Nash, have there been any reports of Gervon Dexter's late get-off being noticeable at camp, or was it really a scheme thing at Florida? I think it was scheme, to be honest. Florida's defensive line coach has come out and said, yeah, he'll fit better with the Bears with what they're asking him to do, and I think we're seeing that already. Justin Jones has taken notice of what Dexter's doing. The physicality is there. They're just asking him to get up and go. Like, there's none of this read and react stuff that he was doing for Florida, so I think the answer is yes. He is a better fit here, and that late get-off has not been a concern from what I've heard. Xavier Jones, do you think Cole Kmet could be a top 5 tight end by the end of the year? I think that's a mild to hot take. I don't think it's scalding. I mean, the only guys for sure that are ahead of Kmet right now, and this is without a doubt guys ahead of Kmet, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Dallas Goedert. If Darren Waller's healthy, I'd probably still put him. He's had a strong training camp with the Giants. When he's healthy, he's a threat to be a 1,000-yard guy. After that, though, why can't Kmet be number 4 or 5? I think it's possible. Now, I think he's for sure a top 10 guy. Does he take enough of a leap to be top 5 status this year? I don't know. That would be a pretty big leap, but he took a big leap last year. If he takes a comparable leap this year, what if he goes out there, has 750 yards and 8 touchdowns and blocks well? Be a pretty damn good season for Cole Kmet. Today's show sponsored by Rocket Money. Save some money on the monthly basis. Cole Kmet doesn't have to worry about that because he's got $50 million in the bank now. But if you want to cut back on your spending, Rocket Money is going to help you do that. It's a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills all in one convenient place. A lot of people think they spend, $75, $80 monthly on subscriptions. the reality is you're probably spending $200 or more. That's how much I was spending. I hopped on Rocket Money recently, and I was like, oh my God, I have this old golf streaming platform that I didn't even know I was paying for. Xbox Live, I was getting charged $30 every 3 months, haven't used it in 2 years. All of a sudden, in the month of July, I spent $150 less than I did in the month of June just on subscriptions alone that I was able to cancel, because guess what? You click one button on the subscription you don't want, the cancel button, they take care of it for you, or they'll tell you how to do it in a timely manner. RocketMoney.com/Bears now. You can also just monitor your overall spending categorically, like how much per month on groceries, restaurants, gas, etc. And you can kind of figure out, okay, I want to cut back here. I have a little more money to spend here. It's a really convenient app. And, with me now, with a wife and a kid, you really have to stay on top of your finances because you just have extra bills now. RocketMoney.com/Bears now. Download the app today by using our link. Support our sponsors, supports the show, and it supports your bank account at the end of the day. RocketMoney.com/Bears now. Let's go to Brian. Appreciate the super chat. Nate Davis' situation is becoming a concern. Appears as though he does not want to be a Bear. What are your thoughts on Ja'Tyre Carter? Is he ready? I don't want to jump the gun on Nate Davis. I don't want to sit here and say he doesn't want to be a Bear. He skipped the first 2 weeks of OTAs. End of the day, those are optional. But look, you gave him 3 years, $30 million with 19 guaranteed. You've invested in him, and now he's nicked up. We don't know what his status is. So I would say I'm at a 5 out of 10 on the concern level. I'm not panicking, but he also was losing some reps, it sounded like. Lucas Patrick got in there. Ja'Tyre Carter has gotten some reps. So I'm monitoring this. I'm on the let's monitor this level right now. It's definitely not a non-story. I'm not going to say it's a front headline story either, though. But yeah, you need Nate Davis to be in there and to play pretty well. Jabil's Games, a hot take. Justin Fields to be a top 3 quarterback in the NFC and a top 10 quarterback overall by season's end. I mean, I think that's possible in the NFC. Top 3 is high, but the only guys where you're like, he probably won't reach that this year are Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott. And I've said this a lot. He's got more raw talent than both of those guys. He's got more raw talent than Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins, who are established quarterbacks. Fields is more talented. If he goes out and balls out, his ceiling in terms of what he can do is higher than what those guys can do. It's an athleticism fact at the end of the day. Now, he's got to go out there and do it. He's got to go out there and prove it. Talk is cheap at this point. But, yeah, I think it's a hot take, but I don't think it's unachievable at the end of the day. Jersum's 80, have there been any reports or talk about Travis Bell in training camp? Haven't heard his name much. No, I haven't heard much. He seems like a practice squad guy to me, Jersum. Ryan Poles fell in love with him in the draft process. Just his character, his personality. I think he was a guy worth taking a chance on. And, just having a guy around, right? 7th round pick. And, who knows if he ever becomes a piece or not. But I would guess he's a practice squad guy. But he's certainly going to be on the roster bubble. Haven't heard much about him so far. Kevin Bolig, Tyler Scott has over 500 receiving yards this year. That's a bold-ish prediction. I think it's achievable. It's just a matter of will he get enough snaps. If Mooney, Claypool, and obviously DJ Moore are healthy and playing well, then Tyler Scott at best is wide receiver 4, and we also know that Cole Kmet's going to get some targets. So, it could be one of those situations where he has 25 to 30 catches, but he averages 18 to 20 yards per catch. Gets to over 500 because I think he'll be a big play weapon on this offense. 500 feels rich. If I had to guess, I would take the under, but I do think he'll play a role. Share this video. Spread the word of Chicago Bears now. All you got to do is click the share button and then to share it to Twitter, which, although it might say share to X now, who knows? I actually need to double check this. Click post to Twitter or X, and then tag me at HGramNFL. I'll retweet you guys. Everyone who does share this video, but I'm only going to see it if you tag me in the tweet before you fire it off. At HGramNFL, and we will throw you guys a retweet. Sean Spadale, both Jackson and Brisker will be Pro Bowlers. I could see it. Eddie Jackson, Jaquan Brisker. I think that the potential is there for that to be the best safety pairing in the NFL, if not one of them. Eddie Jackson last year before he got hurt had 4 picks in 10 or 11 games. He was well on his way to a Pro Bowl year. Jaquan Brisker flashed as a rookie, and by Matt Eberflus's standards, has taken a step forward in year 2. They're going to move him around a lot as well. I definitely could see that being the case. Papa Overlord Mooney finishes within 150 yards of more. Maybe. I mean, look, when Darnell Mooney had his 1,000-yard season in 2021, Allen Robinson wasn't that productive. He only had like 400 or 500 yards, but he still garnered attention of other teams. DJ Moore is going to garner a lot of attention. I could see Darnell Mooney feasting in man-to-man situations and having 800,000-plus yards. I could see that being a possibility. And by the way, it sounds like Darnell Mooney's pretty healthy again. Keem 78, hot take number 6. Missed some of the first few ones. Fields will flirt with 4,500 passing and 35 touchdowns. That's a hot take. I mean, no Bears quarterback in history has thrown for even 4,000. You're saying he's going to throw for 4,500? That's a very hot take. I'm not willing to go that far. I think 4,500 all-purpose is well within range. 3,700 throwing, 800 rushing. I think that could happen. If he throws for 4,500, he might win MVP, for real. Wyatt, trade for Jonathan Taylor because he asked for a trade, so go and get him. He's still young, and we're in a rebuild, so go out there and get him. Do you think we should get him? He's still young, and go slam Marsh. The main thing I took from this is Jonathan Taylor is still young. Look, I like Jonathan Taylor. He's only 24, but we know our running backs age quickly. I just don't think the Bears are in a position to trade a real piece for a running back entering a contract year because you're either going to have to pay or tag them after this year. So I don't think the Bears are that team. I think they roll with their current backfield. Richie Rich, Jalen Johnson has a career year and has 4 or 5 picks. I would love that, man. I'm a big Jalen Johnson fan. I think they should pay him. I did a video over the weekend saying as much. And, I hope he's here long term, even with the emergence of Terrell Smith. I think having good players is a good thing, and you should keep those players. So we'll see what happens. I could see the Bears playing this year out before making that decision, but that's the one thing missing on his resume is taking the football away. He's a sticky corner, but can he start getting interceptions? If he can be one of those elite guys in this league. Who's ready for Week 1 against the Packers? If you are, type FG. I'm fired up for Week 1. You should be fired up for Week 1. If you're not, I don't know what you're waiting for because football is back, baby.